I am tired, guys. I have been running into tech issues nonstop tonight. I tried rendering out a video, a pretty big video that is hopefully up by the time that this video goes live, and just I've been running into tech issues left, right, and center. The program I used to make thumbnails, I lost tons of files for that, so I had to basically make the thumbnail, luckily I have backup files, so I had to get those and then like remake the outline cutout for the Iconismus wolf profile from scratch. It's been a whole thing. Besides that, we are still going to record this reaction to the Odd Ones Out because I am we be grinding. The grind don't stop just because we run into a couple of tech issues. So apparently the Odd Ones Out got involved in some controversy. Diesel Patches has a video on it. It's like 8 minutes long. And yeah, we'll just see what this is about. Apparently it has something to do with the people that work for Odds One Out, or Odd Ones Out. Jesus Christ, I can never say his name properly. Whatever.
Thanks for watching this video. Big thanks to everyone who worked on this video and made it possible. They're amazing.
What?
So, about a month ago, it was revealed that famous YouTuber animator, Odd1sout, whose real name is James, fired his entire animation team without, allegedly, a proper notice.
Wow. Okay, let me read this. YouTuber Odd1sout sparks outrage after firing entire animation team without warning. Netizens say James has blood on his hands. Does he have a... This is a whole conversation. I would be curious to know why he just fired his entire team, or I guess maybe did he lay them off? Odd1sout creator James Rallison is facing backlash after reports claiming he abruptly fired his animation team. Leaked messages from freelancers spark outrage online, with fans questioning the decision and raising wider concerns about job security for artists working behind major... I just hate, listen, there may be more to the story than meets the eye, but I just want to give my opinion on something. Assuming that this is true, I hate that companies can just fire tons of people indiscriminately, especially when they are profitable. It makes no sense for companies to do that. And a majority of the reason companies do that is, I would say, AI. AI is one of the biggest killers of jobs because it displaces tons of jobs and it drives down wages. I don't know if Odds1out as an animator is resorting to AI. I don't know if that's the reason. Because, as an animator, if you resort to using AI, it's considered frowned upon. And I'm pretty sure Odds1out would, Odd1sout. I'm so... Odd1sout is how you say his name. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm sure if he resorted to using AI, I feel like that would be a bigger controversy than maybe this even. But I would be curious to know the reason for that.
But suddenly this news was revived again, along with multiple animators that work for James, revealing their situation after being let go. Anyways, the initial post that revealed the mass firing came from one of the animators on James's team, a user named Anti-Darkheart. Edgy. So, Anti-Darkheart worked on the backgrounds team for many of James's videos, and he revealed in this Discord post, so, the entire Odd1sout team has been fired, which means my main source of income is gone. As y'all know, it's about to be the dreaded tax season, and we're about to move, so I'll be doing comms full-time. From here on out, I'd like to ask a big favor from y'all to please boost my lovely coworkers' commissions to help support them as well.
It's tough, man. Obviously, as somebody who is still struggling to find a job, I've been struggling to find a job. I had work lined up towards the end of 2025, and then the fucking place that I worked for let me go for a very bullshit reason. They absolutely, treated me like ass. The manager was fucking dog shit there, and she has no idea what the hell she's doing, but... that's beside the point. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to find work, dude. It's just you could put tons of applications out, and it's tough. The job market, I would argue, is probably the worst it's ever been. Truthfully, it's really bad this time. And so I can't imagine, especially for animators with AI coming into the mix and AI just fucking displacing tons of... AI displaces so many fucking jobs. We really need to do something about AI. I don't know if AI is going to come up for or the reason why Odd1sout fired them. But we really need to do something about AI, and I really wish I could fucking say his name right, because Jesus Christ, I keep fucking it up.
26 has started off as a rather perplexing year, and I believe we'll pull through. Fingers crossed. However, the message that follows afterwards is, it's kind of ridiculous. Hey y'all, don't be taking screenshots of this and posting it online. It's not anyone's business.
Alright, well that's fucking stupid. Like, you're the one that decided to put it in your public Discord server. Like, I don't know, bro. That's a little... I like, okay, if this was like a private Discord server, then that would be kind of shitty, but like, again, this is assuming that this is a public Discord. Like, you cannot say that people shouldn't screenshot something and then post it online. Like, that's not really how the internet works, bud.
Ever posted it on Reddit, please delete it. Yes. Hey guys, I know I just claimed a popular YouTuber fired me and his entire staff, and I know this sounds like juicy drama, but please don't make this public. You can't just drop something like this while adding your entire Discord server and then expect people to keep this info private. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
That is true as well. Even if it is a private Discord server, like, you are alleging something pretty fucking big. So, like, I don't know. Like, I assume that it was just public anyway.
So the same person decided to private their Twitter account, probably to wait until the storm calms down. Anyways, here's my take. If James did in fact fire over 20 people without a proper notice, then yeah, that is a pretty dick move. Am I gonna pretend I'm deeply invested in the livelihoods of these animators? No, but I can still recognize asshole behavior when I see it. Obviously just firing someone or even a whole staff of people doesn't make you inherently a terrible person. That's part of—
Well, again, it depends on the reason why they were fired. Like, I'd be curious to know why Odd1sout did it. Did he do it because he just couldn't afford to pay them anymore? I highly doubt it. He's a big fucking content creator. And also, like, I doubt he would be the type to use AI. I might eat my words in a moment, but I really don't understand why he just, like, fired a bunch of people. It just doesn't make any sense.
The working world. If a business doesn't need you for some reason, then that's that. It's his business, and if he has other plans moving forward or can't afford his team anymore, then he shouldn't be forced to keep them so they can keep their jobs. That said, if James actually did fire 20 people he's worked with for years without a proper notice, then that is different.
Yeah, without a proper notice, that's also, like, very shitty. Again, like, I feel like, again, I was let go from my job without proper notice as well, too. The place that I worked for, like, they just let me go. I wasn't even, like, fired for anything. They didn't even give a good reason. They just said, after looking at the needs of the cafe, because I was working at a cafe, after looking at the needs of the cafe and seeing how training has gone. It's, like, very vague bullshit PR wording that's, like, very, like, stupid. And, like, it just, like, it was done without any fucking warning or notice as well. Like, my manager sucked. She was terrible. Like, absolute fucking dog shit manager who had no idea what the fuck she was doing.
Especially when these animators are relying on these jobs as their main source of income. The proper way is to give workers time to find—
I should probably read this tweet as well, by the way. Sorry. Yesterday, I lost my job. It was very abrupt. I was the breadwinner of my household and paid most of the bills. With this income, I no longer have blank. Yes, this was my job with TheOdd1sout. Since this is pretty public knowledge now, yes, this was my primary income. I worked 30 to 35 hours weekly for the channel, so the sudden layoff was pretty devastating to say the least. I am very open to consistent illustration/asset work. Yeah, that's tough. Tough stuff.
On these jobs.
It just sucks that, like, companies can do that. Like, I mean, like, granted, Odd1sout, I don't know if he actually works with a company that, like, maybe decided to, like, fire all these animators, but, like, I understand what it's like to lose your job. It sucks. And I feel for a lot of these people. Like, it's terrible. I am curious to know what the reason is for the sudden firing of these people. Yeah.
As their main source of income. The proper way is to give workers time to find other opportunities, knowing they'll be out of a job. I've seen way too many people online ignoring this distinction, like letting people go is the exact same as letting people go without any sort of warning. You also have people just being straight up dishonest. James should have given—
What the fuck? Was Moist Critical, like, being straight up wait, what? Why do we have Moist Critical on screen there for a reason? Was it just, like, a non sequitur to what we were talking about?
given his employees some sort of notice before this happened. So he should have fired them sooner? Is that the point you're making? Yes, because as we know, giving someone a notice before termination means firing them on the spot, not giving them time to prepare for other sources of income. Good one. Before I give more of my take, why don't we go ahead and see what the other animators that were let go have to say about the situation. An animator on James's assets team, named Loveless Kia, noted a month ago, when the animators were let go, "Yesterday I lost my job. It was very abrupt. I was the breadwinner of my house."
God damn it. I fucking read this tweet for nothing, and Diesel Patches is gonna read it anyways. Fuck.
Told and paid most of the bills. With this income, I no longer have. I'll be
It happens. It happens.
pivoting to commissions immediately, more proper with more typical options and such. And when the news of James allegedly letting people go without any sort of notice came back to light, she offered more insight. "Yes, this was my job with the Odd Ones Out, since this is pretty public knowledge now. Yes, this was my primary income. I worked 30 to 35 hours weekly for the channel, so..."
It's terrible stuff, man. Like, worked so hard and then you just were let go. I mean, it's a very good thing to have on your resume, but it's already tough to score a job as is in the year 2026. Like, the job market is fucking terrible. Like, it's actually awful.
The sudden layoff was pretty devastating.
Especially with AI. Like, AI is killing so many fucking jobs. And I think what makes this even more frustrating is the fact that we're not going to get regulations on AI for the next couple of years because Trump decided, assuming this person works in the U.S., I assume they do, though, because TheOdd1sout is in the U.S. He's in Glendale, California, I believe. But, Trump passed like a law or like a bill or something that makes it so that AI can't get regulations for the next like 5 or 6 years or something like that. I don't know how much time it is specifically, but for the next several years, we're not going to be able to have regulations on AI when AI desperately needs regulations. There is no reason why companies should be able to lay off tons and tons of workers when they're profitable. That you shouldn't be allowed to do that. That makes no fucking sense. Like, that's crazy to me.
To say the least. I am very open for consistent illustration or asset work. And David Toons, who was part of the 2D animation team, stated, "So yes, I was part of the Odd Ones Out retiring team, but I am doing just fine. I still have plenty of animation jobs under my wing, and I ask you support all the other artists and animators on James's team. Retweet their portfolios, demo reels, commission pages, etc." Viscuvania, who was part of the assets team, claimed, "I am getting a lot of questions about the Odds Out situation. Please understand that I am just as lost as you guys are with why exactly he dropped the entire team on a whim. We were left with little to nothing to go off of. We had no idea this would happen."
Yeah, it's just so mysterious. Like, is the Odd Ones Out gonna respond to this situation? That's the big question that I have.
We were not given any heads up about his decision, and neither was anything alluding towards it. We don't know what's up, and I'd really appreciate it if—
Oh, apparently he did respond to the situation on Twitter. Okay, yeah, we could take a look at that. Sure, yeah, I should look at that after we're done watching this Diesel Patches video.
If you do not direct the blame—
Unless Diesel Patches includes it in this video. Does he? No, I guess he doesn't. Okay, we'll just finish the video, and then we'll read his response.
The team for any of James's decisions. And now, based on the wordage and phrasing from both of these animators, along with Jess, they're all claiming, or at least implying, James let them go without much notice, and are still just as unsure towards why they're out of a job as everyone.
I mean, a lot of companies will just give like a bullshit PR reasoning as to why you were let go. If you were actually fired because you did something wrong, you would know. Like, they would tell you. But because they're vague, they use vague wording to try to justify letting you go, basically. I don't know if that's what the Odd Ones Out did here in this situation, but it definitely, it just seems tough, you know? Like, he has 20 million subscribers on YouTube, and he has a lot of money, so it's like, surely he can still, like, it just makes you wonder why he let go the entirety of his animation team for no fucking reason.
Everyone else. Anti-Darkheart and David Toons both made it clear they will not be answering any more questions about the matter, which again kind of indicates they're just as much in the dark as everyone else. And David Toons even went as far as letting everyone know he's not under some sort of non-disclosure agreement that would prevent him from revealing what happened. He genuinely just doesn't know. It seems like he doesn't want to drag James's name through the mud any more so than necessary. And many of the animators seem to not have any ill will towards James, despite claiming they were let go out of a whim. For the record, I do not—
I mean, it does seem shitty, but, like, again, I am curious to see what the response is. Because, like, again, this is just so, like, I have so many questions. It's like, oh, man, I really would like to know. I'm sure he reveals it in his response.
Condone any kind of harassment or hate sent James's way. It is what it is. What is worth mentioning, though, is that these animators could all be freelance workers and not full-time employees within James's business, meaning the freelance animators were just hired for independent work, such as YouTube videos. What I'm trying to say is that this could be a situation where these animators weren't necessarily fired, but were more so told they wouldn't be rehired for any more future projects. It might sound
That is interesting, and that actually is a good point, because animation work in particular, you can do freelance. I think it's the same logic as, like, a lot of artists you'll see on Twitter for, like, Twitch emotes, for example. It's the same thing. Like, they do a lot of freelance work for a bunch of other streamers when it comes to, like, making emotes and starting soon screens and all that, like, good stuff, right? With the, like, I guess TheOdd1sout didn't, TheOdd1sout, he didn't want to make any, more art from them in particular. Maybe he just wants to move on with, like, his content, I guess. Maybe he's, like, shifting his content strategy that doesn't require animators anymore, and so he just decided, yeah, I'm not going to hire you for any more. But that technically wouldn't really be a firing at that point. It's just like, hey, you know, we're done working, like, that's it, like, I'm not going to rehire you for anything else. And then they are kind of left in the dark. I mean, it still sucks, but at the end of the day, it's like your job ended, right? Like, you don't really, it sort of just happens.
like semantics bullshit, but only having a set contract.
There is technically a difference, because it wouldn't technically be getting fired then.
For certain projects, and not being hired back for a new contract is different from being fired as a full-time employee without a notice. With that set contract, there is a date where you know you could possibly lose your job. There is already an understanding that there's a chance you might not be rehired. Another contract isn't necessarily guaranteed for freelance workers, while being a full-time employee is considered more secure. That said, I don't know for sure if these animators were full-time employees under James or freelance workers. I would say most likely the latter, based on the direction some these animators are going after being let go. And regardless, many of these animators, like Anti-Darkheart, who made the Discord post, have been working for James for over 4 years. Even a lead animator that worked on 54 of James's videos was given the boot. So even if the animation team was made up of entirely freelance work, getting booted out of nowhere after that long of service for the same business is kind of bullshit, because the expectations for a new contract are a bit different. As far as why James let his animators go, that's his business. Some believe it's because he can't afford an animation team that large due to his viewership and overall popularity dropping. Obviously, he's still garnering a large viewership, but animation is very costly, especially the quality he produces.
Maybe he did resort to using AI after all. I don't know. I mean, like, he's clearly not shifting his content strategy at all. He's still, like, doing some level of animation, so he's probably just, like, I don't know, dude. It's damn. We really are going to have to read his response when we're done with this.
Others are claiming maybe James is just retiring. However, there are others
I don't know about that.
speculating James is leaning towards the AI route because it's
I don't think he's doing AI. There's no way. Unless he, like, fully admits it. Like, I doubt that he... Like, an animator resorting to AI is essentially killing your career. I doubt he would do that at 20 million subscribers. I think he understands, like, the harm that AI has. Like, I doubt that he would fucking murder his entire career for AI. That seems like such a stupid thing to do. I guess I could eat my words. I don't know.
It's not only more cost efficient, but also much easier to produce a larger quantity of videos.
Although, I will say this is a very common reason for a lot of companies to be firing people, especially when they're profitable, is because AI is just fucking murdering tons of jobs and driving down wages, and there's no regulations on it whatsoever.
If that's the case, I can't really see James's career lasting much longer after that. In conclusion, this is far from the worst thing I've ever talked about on my channel. Again, if James did fire people without giving them a heads up, dick move. But I think the reason this is bigger news for many is because James likes to portray himself as a wholesome chungus who's such a swell guy. Hey, look everyone, it's the nice guy, the wholesome
Okay.
chungus. Look at that quirky chungus over there. I just want to lick him. I don't necessarily think this exposes as James as a terrible person or anything, but it is pretty negligent to tell people they're out of a job and not provide them time to seek out other opportunities prior to letting them go. Could be missing context on James's end, but if he really cared, he did have an entire month to clarify his reasoning. And just to clarify myself, no one is really owed an explanation except for the animators, but apparently they haven't even received one yet.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. I feel like it's just good practice to give the people that work for you an explanation as to why they were let go. And I really hate the companies that give like a bullshit PR reasoning. I guess it's technically better than nothing, but it's still very stupid that a lot of companies do that, especially with how shitty the job market is. But yeah, we'll take a look at his response. All right, the odd one's out. Posted his response on Twitter, as I mentioned earlier in this video, and we are going to get a quick read through it because I am curious about the context as to why this happened. We may never get an answer, truthfully. You know, it's possible that maybe, like, you know, things happen, changes happen. It is what it is. I mean, it still sucks for the people working for the job, but again, I know some people were theorizing that it was, like, because of AI. I highly doubt that the TheOdd1sout would kill his entire career to AI, especially since, like, when it comes to people involved with animation, they are held to a much higher standard when it comes to AI usage. Okay. There's been some discussion online about changes to my team, and I want to clear a few things up. We still have an animation team, and the artists working on future projects will continue to be credited in the videos they participate in making. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of really talented freelancers on a project-by-project basis, depending on the needs of the video. My team size has always fluctuated. Freelance creative work always shifts as projects evolve, and right now I'm working on scaling the team to focus on more condensed roles. Last year, despite having a sizable team, we only released 3 videos. This made it clear that I needed to seriously rework my production process. This was never a reflection of anyone's talent or the work they did. Many of these people helped build the channel, and I'm grateful for the time, creativity, and effort they put into projects. This was not an easy thing to do. I had one-on-one conversations with every artist involved and had face-to-face conversations with everyone locally. This was not some cold and sensitive breakup text. Some of the artists I've worked with have been part of the channel for a long time, and because of that, I tried to handle these changes in the most respectful way possible. I provided severance packages to all full-time freelancers. That's good, at least, if that's true. I don't know why he would lie about something like that, though. I don't think he would lie about that. It just seems, again, like, we have to remember, TheOdd1sout is a very big creator. He has, like, 20 million subscribers. I don't know why he would, like, risk fucking up his career lying about something like that. That just doesn't make sense to me. I suppose he could, but I don't know. I haven't really seen any reason as to why he would. That wasn't something I planned on sharing publicly, but since the situation was already brought online, I feel it's important that all the details are understood. It's been frustrating seeing this situation described online in a way that makes this feel or look hostile when I tried my best to make sure artists were taken care of. I mean, that tends to happen. You know, like, a lot of people tend to blow things out of proportion. I mean, like, it sucks. I am curious as to why it happened, but it seems like we now have, like, a legitimate reason as to why. And it just seems like this was more of a layoff, really. Like, a lot of people, it sucks because, like, when people use the word fired, like, it implies that, like, these people did something wrong. That's, like, the undertone of using that word. Whereas the reality is that, like, actually getting laid off just means that you need to, like, scale back and make changes and, like, be like, yeah, listen, and, like, you know, I have to end your employment. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, you know, like, it seems like TheOdd1sout, like, he was trying to get more videos out in a better manner, but the production team was not really doing too well with it. Maybe there was, like, communication issues that happened along the way. Any number of things could have happened. Nothing about this was easy. Managing a large creative team comes with a lot of responsibility, and I tried my best to do right by people I worked closely with. I've also told many of them that I'm happy to serve as a reference for future opportunities because they're talented artists. It would be selfish for me to keep these artists on hold with no projects or consistent work coming their way, so I made a tough decision. I want nothing but what's best for my team. I apologize if this felt sudden. I was extremely hesitant to make the decision myself, but again, with no other jobs to offer at the time, this was the best way forward. That also makes sense, because like if they're not getting a lot of work done, why would he spend a lot of time paying a bunch of these like people? Again, this just screams to me like he laid off a bunch of artists and not firing. I know you might think I'm playing semantics over this, but there is like a legitimate difference between the two. Getting fired implies you did something wrong. Getting laid off means that the company can't really afford to have you in the or want to pay for you anymore, basically. And you didn't. It's not really a reflection of you. It's just a fault in the company more than anything. Not necessarily a fault in the odd ones out. It's just more like, you know, he's making changes in like the management and production. I wish I could give work to every artist in the community, but realistically that just isn't possible. I have linked everyone's socials in this post with the social media portfolios of the team from my last upload. Any and all artists can be found in the end card of my videos. Okay. Honestly, I gotta say, that response was pretty good. I genuinely think that it did clear up a lot of different things. And if I was the odd ones out, there's probably going to be some bad faith actors online that are going to virtue signal over this situation and be like, oh my god, he's terrible or whatever. He said his piece about it. It sounds to me like they were laid off. I don't think that the artists were intentionally trying to cancel the odd ones out. I think they were genuinely just expressing how, like, heartbroken and sad it is that they lost their job, because losing your job is a very sad thing to go through. It's very upsetting for anybody. So yeah, especially with how difficult it is to get a job nowadays. Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is, you know, like, it's, this is just, like, a very sucky situation. It sounded like this was not an easy decision for him whatsoever. And, yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, like, I don't think that this is, like, I don't know. I don't think that, James, or the Odd Ones Out, is a terrible person, and, God bless, hopefully all the artists are able to get work at some point down the line.